President Joe Biden said Wednesday that the U.S. will significantly increase its military presence in Europe for the long haul, including by establishing its first permanent presence in Poland to bolster regional security after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Meeting with NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg at the opening of the alliance's annual Leaders Summit in Madrid, Biden said, "NATO is strong and united, and that steps to be taken during the gathering will further augment our collective strength." Since Russia annexed Ukraine's Crimea region in 2014, Poland has viewed an increase in NATO troops on the Western Alliance's eastern flank as vital for Central Europe's security in the face of increased Russian assertiveness and has long sought a permanent U.S. military base on its soil. The base in Poland will mark the first time the U.S. will establish an official permanent military facility in the area, known as NATO's eastern flank. The U.S. military presence elsewhere in Eastern Europe and in the Baltic states is technically on a rotational basis, although Washington has no plans to scale back its presence in the region. Under the 1997 NATO-Russia Founding Act, NATO agreed not to establish a permanent military presence east of Germany. U.S. officials insist the base in Poland does not violate the act since it is only a permanent facility and the troops will be deployed rotationally, but it's unlikely Moscow will see it that way. Other measures Biden announced include sending a rotational brigade of 5,000 troops to Romania, stepping up rotational deployments to the Baltics, sending 2 additional F-35 squadrons to the UK, and stationing more air defenses in Germany and Italy. A day earlier, Biden announced the U.S. was sending 2 more Navy destroyers to Spain. "I said Putin's looking for the Finlandization of Europe," Biden said on Wednesday. "He's going to get the NATOization of Europe. And that is exactly what he didn't want, but exactly what needs to be done to guarantee security for Europe. And I think it's necessary. The deployments are a step towards keeping U.S. troops levels in Europe at over 100,000. Before the U.S. began reinforcing its military presence in Europe around the time Russia invaded Ukraine, about 80,000 U.S. troops were assigned to the continent. While building up military forces in Eastern Europe and pouring billions of dollars worth of weapons into Ukraine, Biden has abandoned diplomacy with Russia altogether. As a result, the risk of a direct conflict between the two powers, which could quickly spiral into nuclear war, is at its greatest height since the Cold War. The U.S. currently has more than 100,000 service members deployed across Europe, up by about 20,000 since just before Russian President Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine began 4 months ago. Biden predicted that meetings this week would make for a history-making summit as leaders were set to approve a new strategic framework, announce a range of steps to boost their defense spending and capabilities, and clear the way for historically neutral Finland and Sweden to join NATO. Biden said Putin thought NATO members would splinter after he invaded Ukraine, but got the opposite response instead.